Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Back to hazelnut decaf this morning. Every once in a while I enjoy a regular cup of other flavored coffee, but since I have my coffee before I eat my breakfast, it's probably not the smartest thing to do because of, if you have stomach issues, you don't want to be putting acid into your stomach first thing. But I do enjoy that first morning cup of coffee, so that's why I mainly pick decaf. And I know decaf probably has the same amount of acid, but the caffeine, if you have reflux, caffeine is not good for you. And that includes things like chocolate, coffee, all sorts of things with caffeine in them. But I do like chocolate and I do like coffee, so I just try to keep it to a minimum and not overdo it. And that usually works. Every now and then I'll have to switch to a coffee substitute or a low acid coffee if I get a flare-up. So, if you have that problem, you could give that a try too and see if it helps you out. So anyway, today is going to be a yucky 87. I know some of you that are up in the hundreds think that would be great, but for me that's a little bit too hot. So I probably won't be doing too much outside, but I do have to get out and water because we don't have any rain coming up the next few days. And also we've got a couple days where it's going to be near 90. So I have to keep my garden watered. So I don't have any big plans for the day. I don't know. I just kind of go by what I feel like doing, unless there's something that absolutely has to be done. That's how I usually figure out my day. I go from one thing to another, whatever is the priority first. And I used to make a lot of to-do lists and then get great satisfaction in crossing things off. I still do that a little bit, but not like I used to. Because actually I have more time on my hands, so if I don't feel like doing something on Sunday, I can do it Monday or Tuesday. So that's kind of the way I work things out, and it seems to be working okay. So it's going to be too hot to go up in the attic and get anything out of there. I've made actually quite a bit of progress up there. And yesterday my grandson helped me put some of those pillows up there. So I have to look through some bins of sweaters yet. I had dresses up there off season and stuff, got rid of those a long time ago. Pants, got rid of tons of pants from up there. So now I still have bins with sweaters in them. So I have to look those over and see what I want to keep. The sweaters are bulky. They're winter sweaters. They're not lightweight sweaters. So some of them I'll keep and some of them I'll get rid of, but they're too bulky to put in my drawers because I have a lot of them. I have, holiday sweaters and fancy sweaters with embroidery on them and, just pretty sweaters that I don't wear all the time, but I could wear if I'm going to a function, which I don't go to very often. But so I don't know. We'll see when I get up there what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to get rid of. But that's not going to be until the weather cools off. And there's other things that I need to do. And it's even really too hot to start on the garage. And I don't want to do that today. It's Sunday, so I want to do some things that are relaxing and not always work. The declutter plan will continue on, but right now, I do some, then I stop for a couple days, then I do some more, and that's the way I'm going to continue to do things. So, all right, I will meet you at the budget book while I enjoy my coffee, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, here we are back at the budget book. So yesterday I didn't spend any money. Good for me. Today I'm not planning on spending any either. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I need. I have plenty of food. Plenty of crafting stuff already that I can do. I have plenty of, pretty much plenty of what I need. So unless something comes up that I absolutely have to have, I'm not planning on spending any money today either. Now, tomorrow I have to go to Costco because I have to get dog food. I'm almost totally out. And while I'm there, I'll also fill up on gas. So tomorrow will be a spend day. And hopefully I won't spend too much, because Costco has some great deals on things. So anyway, I think we all need to get serious about doing our prepping and keeping our food stock up, because right now the world is too unstable. You don't know what the next crisis is going to be. There's always that going on somewhere. So I think having a backup plan, A, B, C, D, whatever, is a good idea. And, that's not fear-mongering. That's just being smart and trying to keep ahead of the game. So I hope all of you in California are doing okay. I don't know if that storm has hit land yet, but let me know what's going on in the comments below. We're all concerned for you guys that live out there. And hopefully the storm will lose its power before it hits your area. So, that's really weird. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I'm not that familiar with storms out there on the West Coast. But, I've never really heard of a hurricane out there. It's usually in the Caribbean and on the eastern board of the United States. So, educate me on that. Leave me a comment below. Leave us a comment, because we're all concerned. All right, well, I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and then I'll be back. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I have to sit back and relax a little bit and figure out my day. I hope you're all having a good day, and I'll be back in a little bit. Here's what's for breakfast this morning. Scrambled egg with Gouda cheese on sourdough bread. And instead of using butter, I used mayonnaise on both sides of the bread. So I'm hoping that'll be good. And then I have a mix of cherries and grapes. So that's what's for breakfast on Sunday morning. And of course, coffee. Yum. So good. Well, I just came in from watering, and here is today's harvest. I have peppers and eggplants and lots of tomatoes and some greens. I could have picked a lot more greens, but I don't want to pick them all and then just have them sitting in the fridge. So I think that was a pretty good harvest for just a container garden. So if you don't have room or you can't put a garden in the ground where you live, consider a container garden. It's worth it. All right, well, I'm going to make a little bit of dinner, and I have all these beans from the garden. They're purple and yellow. I didn't plant green beans this year, but I like the purple and the yellow ones better. And I had 2 tomatoes from the garden that were damaged, so I peeled them and diced them up. And I've always liked green beans and tomatoes. I think that they're a nice combination. And then I have all these green onions, so I'm going to add those. And then I'm either going to make this with rice or with pasta, but I probably won't eat this until tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and put some butter in the pan, and I'll be back. Alright, so over here I'm kind of cleaning out the refrigerator. I have the beans from the garden, the zucchini and the squash, they're also from the garden, the tomatoes and the green onions. So this is all from my garden, and it's all things that have been in the refrigerator for several days. So I was thinking, well, what can I cook with them? So what I want to do is just sort of saute them all up together, season them, but not overcook them. So then I can either use them as a side dish to rice or pasta or whatever carb you have. And if I don't cook them too long, I can also make a soup out of them. And I can also use the rice and the pasta to make a soup. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the tomatoes in first. Let those cook a minute. So this will be for several meals, and I can mix and match and have plenty to eat for the next few days. So I'm going to let the tomatoes cook for a minute, then I'm going to add the beans, and then I'm going to add the squashes, and I'll add the green onions last. And once I get everything in the pan, then I'll season it. So I'm going to let this cook a minute and I'll be back. Alright, I added the beans, and these purple beans will turn green once they cook. It would be nice if they stayed purple, but they don't. So I'm going to let those cook for a minute, just soften up a little bit. And then last, I'm going to add the squashes. So I'll be back. Alright, well at this point I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And I wanted to get these veggies cooked before I call it a day, because I have a lot of other veggies here that I need to do something with. So all the purple beans have turned green now, but I don't think these are done yet. No, I can tell they're not. So I'm going to let these cook a little while longer, and then I'm going to put the squash in. Alright, well I added a little bit of water. It was getting too dry. So I'm going to go ahead and add the squash now and add some more seasonings. And then I'm going to cook this until it's just crisp, tender. Because like I said, I don't want it too mushy, and then I can make a soup or a side dish, and I can always cook it a little longer with some rice or something. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water. And that way I don't waste my veggies. I'm going to add some more green onion. Might as well add it all. I have a lot of green onion in the garden, and those are from the grocery store, and they're huge. So basically what I want to do to keep this produce from going bad is sort of par cook it, and then I can do different things with it later on. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more salt and pepper on here. And that's all to taste. There's no measurements here. You can add a little bit of cumin to this if you want. Some soy sauce would be good. I have garlic powder. Onion powder. More onion. And then I'm going to use the rest of this complete seasoning. I have another one. That's a seasoning I like to keep on hand. So I'm just going to let this cook for a few minutes. Like I said, till it's crisp tender. I'm going to let it cool off, and then I'm going to put it in mason jars. Now you can cover this too with a lid and let it cook for a while. Or you can just go ahead and eat it, whatever you want to do. But I'm just cooking it ahead. So that's it. Just trying to preserve my produce without having to freeze it, because I don't have room in the freezer right now. So I'm going to turn this down and just let it cook for about 5 minutes or so. So I went and spent some time with my neighbor. I gave her a haircut, and well, we just had an adult beverage, and then we had a cup of coffee, and we had some nice conversation. So that's what I did today. I didn't do any decluttering. I didn't do any crafting or cleaning. This is about as busy as I'm getting today. So, all right, my friends, it's almost 7 o'clock, so I'm going to call it a day. So I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Thanks for watching.